It was about students. My friends and I rented an apartment on the outskirts of the city, cheap and angry, as they say. The house was old, brick, with long, dark corridors and creaking stairs. From the very beginning, there was some bad feeling, as if someone was constantly watching you. The first alarm bell was dreams. We all had nightmares, dark figures, whispers, a feeling of suffocation. They wrote it off to stress, session, lack of sleep. But then the strange things began in reality. Things were lost and appeared in the most unexpected places. The light turned off by itself, and one night we woke up from a loud knock on the door, looked out into the peephole. No one. We went out to the landing. It's empty too. The scariest thing happened to my roommate, Layla. She woke up in the middle of the night from the feeling that someone was sitting on the edge of her bed. I opened my eyes and saw an empty rocking chair that stood in the corner of the room, slowly swaying by itself, in complete silence. We tried to find a rational explanation. We asked the neighbors, but no one noticed anything like that. We thought someone was making fun of us, but the jokes became more and more sinister. One day, Layla found a photo on her desk of all of us sleeping in our beds. The photo was taken at night through the window of our room. After this incident, we couldn't stand it. We packed up and moved out. None of us wanted to go back to that apartment anymore. We never found out what was going on there. Maybe it was just someone's evil jokes, or maybe something more mystical. A few years later, I accidentally met a former resident of that house. He said that in the 1930s, a family lived in this apartment who died under mysterious circumstances. Their bodies were never found. Since then, according to him, strange things have been happening in the apartment. Anon, that's the story. I still get goosebumps when I remember. Be careful with cheap apartments. You never know what secrets they keep. Anon, I'm writing with trembling hands. I don't know what to do, who to turn to. It happened a week ago. My grandmother is dead. The kingdom of heaven. An old house in the village remained after it. My brother and I went to take things apart. The house is old, squeaky, with stove heating. The smell was there, as if something was rotting. We found a chest in the attic, locked with a rusty lock, opened with a trowel. Inside there are old photos, letters, some rags, and a doll. Porcelain with black bead eyes. It's so see. My brother took her in his hands, turned her, said, "We need to throw away this shit." And I say, "Leave it. Antiques after all." He threw it into the junk box. We're back in the city. At night, my brother calls. His voice trembles. "Come." She's a doll. I rush to him. He is sitting in the kitchen, pale, around a shard of porcelain. He says, he woke up from the fact that someone is breathing in his face. He opens his eyes, and this doll hangs above him, right above the bed. Her face, she says, is evil. Her lips are grinning. He dropped it. It fell to the floor and crashed. And the next morning, red spots appeared on his arm, like burns. Doctors say it's an allergy, but he swears he didn't eat or touch anything like that. The spots grow and hurt, and I woke up tonight from a squeak. I went out to the kitchen, and there, among the fragments of the doll, there are black beads, and they look at me. Anon, what to do? I'm afraid for my brother. This doll, she seems to be alive. Help, who knows what it could be? Anon, the story is fresh. I still can't get away. I work as a truck driver. I'm wandering around the country. A week ago, I was driving at night on the highway, somewhere in the Tver region. Rain, fog, visibility, meter. Suddenly, I see a figure on the side of the road, in white. He waves his hand. I think, well, that's it. Got the money, the car broke down, you see? I stop. I'm coming closer. A woman, old pale face in some kind of handkerchief. He says, "Son, help me, I'm freezing, take me to the village, it's not far away." Well, I think, Grandma after all. I put her in the cabin. She is silent, only pulling her hands to the stove, warming. I ask, "What is the name of the village?" But she is silent. Looking somewhere ahead, his eyes are empty. I drive for about 10 minutes. I look. The navigator got stray, turns me on the same section of the road, and Grandma whispers something under her breath. I can't figure it out. I felt uncomfortable. I stop, say, "Grandma, where to go?" And she turns her head, looks at me, and her eyes are black, completely black, without pupils, and smiles. My hair is on end. I jumped out of the car, running into the bushes. I turn around. There is no car. There is no grandmother. There's nothing. Only fog. I reach the nearest gas station on foot. Their men say that on this section of the road they often see a grandmother in white. He asks for a ride and then disappears with the car. Anon, it's still shaking. I don't know what it was. Hallucination? Ghost? But those eyes, black, are still standing in front of my eyes. Be careful on the roads, Anon, and don't pick anyone up at night. Never. Anon, I'll tell you a story that told my grandfather. He never told me about it himself. It was too hard for him. But my grandmother told me when my grandfather was gone. Grandfather lived in Siberia, in a remote village, worked as a hunter. One winter he went skiing to check the traps. The frost was crackling, the sun was low, the shadows were long. He is walking through the forest, and suddenly he sees a fresh trail in the snow. Not animal, but human. Such a big track, as if someone was walking in huge volans. Grandfather was surprised. You rarely meet anyone in the taiga in winter. I decided to follow the trail, see who is wandering there. He walked, the trail leads deeper and deeper into the thicket. The sun has already set, the twilight is thickening, and the trail doesn't end. And then the grandfather notices that the trail becomes strange. The fingers on the print are long, inhuman, and the size of the leg seems to increase with every step. Grandpa got creepy. He understood that it was not good. I wanted to come back, but it was late. It's completely dark. You can't see anything. Suddenly, he hears the crackling of branches somewhere nearby, and heavy breathing. Grandpa froze, afraid to move. He looks into the darkness. You can't see anything. Only he feels someone is watching him. He probably stood like that for ages. Then he made up his mind, rushed to run, not understanding the roads. I ran, stumbled, fell, lost my skis. He finally ran out to the cut, sees a fire in the distance. I ran to the hut. It turned out to be a hunting guard. He ran inside, closed the door, pushed the bolt. He sits, shaking with fear. He looks out the window. No one. Only a trace is visible in the snow, right up to the threshold of the guardhouse, and it breaks off. Grandfather returned to the village in the morning. I didn't tell anyone anything, but since then, I haven't been to the taiga alone. And Grandma said that at night he screamed in his sleep and muttered about traces in the snow. What it was, Anon, I don't know. Maybe the bear is so special, or maybe something worse. Anon, this story happened to me personally. I still can't logically explain what happened. At that time, I rented an apartment on the outskirts of the city, Stalinka, high ceilings, thick walls, lived alone. And one day I came back from work late in the evening, terribly tired. I had dinner and went to bed. I wake up in the middle of the night from some strange feeling. It's dark, but I feel that there's someone in the room. I listen. Silence. hear footsteps. Slow, heavy, as if someone in boots is walking on the parquet. Steps are approaching my bed. I'm lying down, afraid to move. My heart is pounding like a mad. The steps stop right at the headboard. I feel the mattress bending, as if someone sat down. I close my eyes. I'm waiting. Silence. Then I hear a sigh. Heavy, intermittent, right above my ear. I couldn't stand it. Suddenly opened my eyes, turned on the lamp. Empty. No one. Only the feeling of heaviness remained on the bed, as if someone invisible was sitting next to him. I jumped up, looked around the whole room. The doors are closed, the windows too. There is no one. But the fear is such that I didn't close my eyes until morning. I was sitting in the kitchen, smoking one by one. The next night, everything happened again. Steps, weight on the bed, sigh. And so for several nights in a row. I was already afraid to sleep. My nerves are at the limit. Then I decided to put a voice recorder by the bed. I turned on the recording before going to bed. I woke up again from the same terrible feeling. Steps, heaviness, sigh. I turned on the light. It's empty. I listened to the recording in the morning. First silence, then steps. Distinct, heavy. They come to the bed, stop, and then silence. No sigh, only steps. Anon, I don't know what it was. Hallucinations, paranoia, but the steps on the recording, they are real. I still get goosebumps when I remember. I moved out of that apartment a week later. I've never been there again. Anon, this story happened to my cousin when she was still a teenager. She lived then with her parents in an old house, which they got from their grandmother. The house was large, 2-story, with a dark attic and a basement where all kinds of junk were stored. One summer evening, my sister was sitting at home alone. My parents went to the city on business. It was quite late. It was getting dark. My sister was reading a book in her room on the second floor. Suddenly, I heard some kind of noise from below. I thought my parents were back. I went downstairs, shouted, "Are you that?" But there was no answer. I walked on the first floor. No one. I went to the kitchen. It's empty there too. Only the window was open. My sister closed the window, thought what it must have seemed. I came back to my room. I sat down to read again, but I felt restless. Suddenly, I heard footsteps in the attic. Heavy, slow steps. My sister knew that no one had climbed the attic for many years. There wasn't even a normal staircase there. Fear gripped her. My heart was pounding. She jumped up, locked the door of her room. The steps in the attic continued. The creak of the floorboards rustles as if someone heavy wanders there in the dark. The sister hid under the blanket, clenched her ears with her hands, but the footsteps were still audible. They approached the hatch, which led from the attic to the second floor. Suddenly, there was a loud blow, as if someone had knocked on the hatch with a heavy object. My sister screamed. Then, the steps died down. My sister sat under the blanket until the morning. When her parents came back, she told them about the steps in the attic. Parents went up to the attic and looked around it. It was empty, only dust and old junk. The hatch was tightly closed. What it was, anon, no one knows. But my sister still remembers that night with horror, and I never stayed alone in that house again. Don't forget to subscribe. Put likes until we meet again.